Okay, I'm back down the Syndicate lake. It's a 10-acre gravel pit, probably about 60 to 80 fish in it, of which 7 or 8 are 30 plus fish. One of them goes almost 40 to just over 40 depending on what time of year it is. There's a big head of 20s in here, mixture of fish from fully scales, linears, some nice big commons to 32-33 pounds. So there's a good selection of fish in here. All the stock 25 year plus years old, so the real old fish in here. Very dark as well because it's crystal clear, the water is. So we're hoping to get 1 or 2 this session, and down for 48 hours, so I think I've got a good chance. It's a Sunday afternoon. Most of the weekend anglers have gone now. There's just one other guy on the island peg. He came a couple of hours after me. I think he's on just like an overnighter. He'll be gone in the morning, so there'll probably be a few more people what come tomorrow. It's not a really busy lake, but there's a constant flow of people in and out. So yeah, weather's looking good as well. It's around about 12-13 degrees, bit of a wind on the lake, shower here and there, so it's looking good. Over the last 5-6 days there's probably been about 13 fish out, up to just under 30 pound. Majority of them have been like mid-20s coming out, so I'm hoping to get amongst one of the big girls in here, to be honest. Been on this lake now for almost 2 years, and still haven't had a 30 out yet, which I'm not too bothered about, but it would be nice to get one. Just a fish, just one fish will do me on this 48 hours. It's pretty tricky water. It's by no means a runs water. You've got to think what you're doing on this water if we get the runs, so we'll see how we go. Okay, the swim I'm in at the moment is around about 12-13 foot deep, pretty much all over around where I am at the moment. There is a shallows area across on one of the other banks where it's 3 or 4 foot, going out to about 20 yards, and it goes down to 11 or 12 foot. But where I am, it's all deep water. Siltweed all over as well, everywhere. So I've opted on this occasion to fish the old choddies. I've got Nash leaders on, 1.5 meters, and I've got the choddies running on those leaders. So yeah, hopefully we'll get a run or 2. I'm on the Nutribait's Blue Oyster. I've put out 15 and 18 mil, which has been soaked overnight in a bit of hemp oil, so it's going to be popping off bits of hemp oil all the time while we're here, so hopefully that will attract the fish. Haven't seen anything as such yet. Been here a few hours. I've seen a little bit of subtle movement just under the surface, just out where the baits are, but nothing's crashed out the water, nothing like that. I haven't seen any fish for sure. I've had the odd flat spot coming up off the bait, so I'm sure there's been something coming along at some stage and had a bit of a munch on it, and obviously sending the oil up and creating the flat spot. So I'm confident there's fish about. Not fishing far out, probably 20-30 yards, something like that. I've got one rod about 10, one rod about 20 yards, one rod about 30 yards, and I've sprayed bait all over the place. I've done no tight groupings of bait or anything like that. I've just like sprayed it everywhere. I probably put about 100 baits in, as I say, a mixture of 15 and 18s, and over the rods. So yeah, I'm hoping to get 1. So I'll see how we go. Well, it's proven to be a difficult session, this one. Sun's come out though, and wind's calmed right down. This whole area of the bay around where I'm fishing is all pretty much flat calm compared to the rest of the lake, so hopefully it might draw a few fish in. I'm still stuck with where I've got the rigs and that, but I'm thinking about putting one of the rods in a different location. Tea time is something like that, so different hook bait, different location, just one of the rods to see if I can get a pickup somewhere. I think I saw a fish about 5-10 minutes ago right near the surface, a bit further out from where I've got the baits, so yeah, a bit of luck to getting up in this area now. So I'm still confident for a bite, and hopefully I'll get one between now and 11 o'clock and that when I go tomorrow morning. Well, I've just seen a couple of 3 fish show to the left at about 70-80 yards range. So I've just reeled in the left hand rod, changed lead size, gone up a bit from the 1 ounce to a 2 ounce, and cast it straight over across to them. Probably about 10 yards short, but it's in the general area, so hopefully could be a good chance of a pick up there. I haven't put no bait around it, just a single choddy cast to it. I think what I'll do is I'll give it an hour. If nothing happens or I don't see anything showing again, I'll bring it back after about an hour, just before dark, and put it back on its original spot. Just thought it's worth a try for an hour, that's all. Hopefully it could get me a bonus fish. Well, morning. It's around about 7:30. Nothing during the night, although I did see a couple at long range, way out of my reach, show last night just before dark, but yeah, I couldn't get to them. Been awake about 20 minutes, something like that, and I've just had a fish, literally 5 minutes ago, crash out about 10 yards to the left of where my rods are. So yeah, that's a good sign. There's the fish in the area, so every chance there's been fish on the bait over the last hour or so or something, and one's crashed out as a result. Nothing else to report really. Going to leave the rods in place for at least another hour or two. In my opinion, this time of the morning is bite time. I've had more bites at this time of the morning, going up to about 10 o'clock, than any other time on this lake, so it'd be a bit foolish to do a recast or put any bait in or disturb the swim in any way at the moment, so I'm just going to leave the rods where they are. No more bait, nothing at the moment, so I'm just going to have some breakfast, sort myself out for a bit of a wash and stuff like that, wake myself up and that, and then see where we go from there. So I'll give it another couple of 3 hours, probably till 10 o'clock before I do anything at all. So I'm just going to remain as quiet as I can and see what happens. Well, it's around about 9 o'clock now in the morning. I've just done a recast on all the rods. I know I said I wasn't going to do till about 10 o'clock, but I've had my hand forced really. Seen between where we are now and the island, there's about four fish shows, probably at about 70 yards range, so it's about 2/3 between where we are now and the island. So I've put the middle rod across there, put a fresh hook bait on, still on the blue oyster pop up on the choddy. I just up my lead size because I had a 1 ounce lead on because there's only fishing in close with that rod. So I just upped it to 2 ounce, just enough to get me to the area where I want to present the hook bait. So that's across there. I thought, while I'm at it, I might as well do a recast on the right and the left rod. So I've brought them in. I've kept the same hook bait on, which is nice and washed out now, but I've glugged it in the L030 for about a couple of minutes each hook bait, and then just flicked it out. So I've got one slightly left, one slightly right from the position where we are now, probably about 20 yards out, something like that. And then I've put a couple of pouchfuls of chopped baits over the top of them, just to get some real smell and scent into the water. So basically that's where we are at the moment. Like I say, 70 yards range straight out. I've seen about 4 shows. I did see a show earlier on, close in next to me, just left to where my left rod was, about 20 yards. Didn't see the fish, just saw the aftermath of it, like the ripples and the splash and that. Couldn't see any birds around the area at all. I did stand there for a couple of minutes and nothing come up, so I'm pretty sure it was a fish. Whether it was a carp or not, I don't know. It could have been a pike striking at the roach, or a tench, or there is half a dozen really big bream in here. It could have been a bream rolling, I'm not sure, because like I say, I didn't see the fish, so I'm just presuming it's a carp. Hopefully it was, so they've been in there visiting the area. So I mean, I'm still feeling confident for a run. I've still got 27 hours worth of fishing left yet before I've got to go, so plenty of time yet for a run or two. Just looking for the one bite, to be honest, so hopefully we'll get lucky sometime today. Well, it's been a really difficult session so far. Haven't seen any fish for about 5-6 hours. Seen a bit of water movement here and there, and the odd flat spot coming up off round where my baited area is, but apart from that, nothing. I haven't had one beep on the rods yet since I got here, so yeah, it's proving a bit tricky at the moment. As you can see, this area of the lake's all flat calm, so yeah, it's looking good. Sun's out. You would have thought it'd attract a few fish in here. The wind's blowing across the far corner, so yeah, I'm still hoping a few fish get up this end. Rigs are still in place. I haven't bothered changing anything at all. Last recast I did was probably 8 or 9 o'clock this morning, so the rigs are still in place from there. So we'll see how it goes anyway. We'll give it a few hours and then perhaps have a think about maybe a move, or perhaps change up baits, different baiting pattern, or perhaps put the rigs in a couple of different spots on 1 or 2 of the rods. So we don't know, we'll just play it by ear and see what goes. Okay, the time now is about 8:15. It's been a cracking late afternoon up till now, to be honest. The sun's gone in now, but it was really warm when the sun come out. We had a big downpour about 3 o'clock, which lasted for about an hour, and the skies just cleared and the sun come out. It was lovely and warm. There was numbers of carp on the surface here, there and everywhere around the lake. I could spot at least 5 or 6 round in the area where I was. So hopefully they've come over the bait and they've seen this and they'll come back later for a bit of a feed. That's what I'm hoping. I've still got the middle rod out long, which is on the bar from the island, straight out in front, about 85 yards. That's just on a single hook bait. There's no bait around that. The swim gets fished quite heavily, so there's constant bait going in there. So I'm just going for the single hook bait approach on that rod. The other 2 rods, left and right hand rod, did a recast about, I don't know, probably 5 o'clock, 5:30, put fresh hook baits on, still on the blue oyster. I'm going to put some more bait out before dark. I'm just going to make sure the seagulls have gone before I start. Put some bait out, put some chops and whole 15 and 18 mil baits over the top. Probably about 30 baits each rod, something like that. Not too much, because I know there's some down there. So yeah, I think it's looking good for a bite. Still confident as ever, getting a run. I think the best time for a run is early morning, you know, an hour before, you know, from 4 o'clock onwards, probably an hour before first light, up to about 10 o'clock as I said before, is bite time for me on this lake anyway, so we'll see what happens. Well, good morning. It's around about 7:30. Nothing during the night again. Not even a beep, so a bit disappointed there. I was sure at some stage this 48-hour trip the fish would get on my bait, but quite obviously haven't. I'm sure at a couple of stages there's been feeding over my areas. I just can't get a pick up for whatever reason. Fully confident with the rigs I've got out and the bait I've got out and that, so no problem there. I just I don't know, for whatever reason they're just not feeding heavily enough or hard enough over my areas for get a pick up. So yeah, as I say, disappointed. Got a couple of 3 hours left yet, so there's still time for a bite, but honest opinion, it's looking unlikely, to be honest. So yeah, start having a slow pack up in an hour or so. Everywhere's soaking wet, had some more rain in the night. Although it looks like it's going to be a nice day. Temperatures can get up a bit more today, up to about 15-16 degrees. It's only been about 12-13 the last couple of days, so a bit on the cool side for me, but yeah, I think as the week progresses it's going to get warmer and warmer and warmer, so by the weekend they reckon it's going to be into the low 20s, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be out on the bank this coming weekend, but if I do I'm definitely going to bring the floaters and the float fishing rod with me, because there could be a good chance they'll be on the surface or near the surface. Nothing much else to tell you really, to be honest. Very quiet, nice. Yeah, we'll stick it out for another couple of 3 hours and see how we go. Well, comes to the end of the session now. All packed away pretty much, apart from the rods. Still no fish. Going to get the rods out in about 10-15 minutes and that'll be me done then. Bit disappointed not to have a fish, but can't win them all. I'll try again next time. It'll be probably about 3 weeks before I get a chance to get down again. Got a few things to do the next couple of weekends, so yeah, can't get down for another 2-3 weeks, so we'll see what happens then. I think I might try on the shallows next time, although when I arrived this session the shallows are fully stitched up. There's 3 out of the 5 pegs taken up and there's a lot of lines in there, so that's why one of the reasons I didn't go in there this week. But you've got to keep trying, so I'll catch you again later.